Code Buddies is a global community of amazing people who help each other become better at software development through conversations on Slack and peer-to-peer organized study groups and virtual hangouts. Today, we will be continuing working on the Western Friend website. We're migrating from Drupal to Django and the Wagtail CMS. Western Friend is the official publication of Quakers in the Pacific, North Pacific, and Intermountain yearly meetings. Those are all in the Western United States. If you'd like to check out our code at any point, we're open source on GitHub, github.com/westernfriend/WF website. We might rename this repository at some point. So the Western Front organization is the place to be. There's a couple of other projects open source there. Looks like my link is covered up over here. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. Just checking the Twitch stream. It's looking good. So we've been working on the subscription, some improvements to the subscription process. There we go. And ensuring that people had to be logged in. Let's see. We added a subscription start and end date. We have created a custom user model and a flow for registration during the subscription process. I've also made some minor modifications to subscription fields. So I believe at this point, we're actually ready to close this pull request. There's a couple of other upgrades requests here. So that might be a chance actually to try to work with our dependencies a little bit. We'll see if we can do a little bit of low-hanging fruit today. We've got some dependencies that are out of date. I just realized I have two pull requests open. Subscription continued and subscription front end. I think what I was going to do was close this pull request. This subscription continued was kind of a false start. We wanted to try migrating the address to its own app so that we could have a common table for all addresses and share that between subscriptions and orders. But that turned out to be kind of non-trivial and had some awkward user experience implications, so to speak. It made editing the basically the editing the order was more awkward and had several clicks. So I'm going to go ahead and close this to avoid confusion and not merge it. Good, good, good. Now let's go ahead and take a look over at the other pull request. Subscription front end. This one's been under the works for a while. Looks like I don't have my other issues tagged. So the last code session I did improve the method to fetch the subscription for the logged in user by factoring it into its own template method, simple tag, and using the now end date and checking that the subscription is paid. So that is done. The rendering of the teaser is complete, and the full view is rendered for subscribers. And the subscription expiration is also calculated. So yes, we really have wrapped this up. Good. I could have done this offline, but anyway, this is sort of part of the normal development process that you kind of check the boxes and we do merge things. So let's see, we can close at 1:57. This is just also a good opportunity to see how GitHub works. Sorry about that. We'll have to do this offline import process pretty soon because we're going to migrate this site. We'd like to migrate it in the next couple of months, maybe January. So we'll be doing some just regular Python scripting at that point. This can close number 155. What I'm doing is just tagging these issues from the pull request. When you do that, GitHub will automatically link the issues, and when you merge the pull request, it'll close the corresponding issues. Custom user model is done, so 154. Whoops. And subscription form fields. I think this was just some minor changes. Subscription form. 147. Whoops. Getting a little bit mixed up here with my tabs. Let me just double check that. Well, I've already actually got it tagged, so let's go ahead and do it. I don't know, I think front end is a word, a single word. Cool. So we got quite a few commits here. A lot of files have been changed. There's some linting issues. I suppose I'll clean those up as part of this pull request too, just to keep the code tidy. So accounts models.py. Is this accounts models.py? Magazine models. And really, I should be auto-linting on save. I'm not sure why I'm not. Could look at that, but I don't want to fiddle with development tools. Let's see, if I Pippin to install, I can install black for the dev environment. That should work. And should be a way to specify it. Yeah, developers. Counts.models.py. Let's go ahead and just finish that. Just wants a blank line at the end of the file. Now that did auto-lint, didn't it? Format control shift P format. There it is. Ah, it's even better. So should be a way to enable the linter here. You know what I think is I turned off lint on save because I was working on a JavaScript project that was throwing everything off. Something, I don't remember exactly, but let's see if I can find it. PHP, Python. I don't know the difference between Pylint and Flake 8. Let's see here. No, there it is. Alright, well, let's install this Flake 8. Support. Notice that VS Code did find my pip environment and is installing it as a dev dependency. So that's pretty handy when your IDE just does things for you, nice and clean. All right, now, so we've already saved models.py. That looks good. Actually, clean that up. Orders models.py. Save that. Ooh. Now wait a minute. guess I should check these out. I didn't realize that there are so many unused imports. That is weird. Because there should be field panels that are used right here. What is that trying to tell me? Rich text field. Oh, I see. Well, that's nice. Actually, that's pretty handy. Haven't been linting this code, so it really shows. Okay. Payment views.py. Format the document here. Look for some lint. Subscription forms. So it's not linting on save. I'm having to run this format. There it goes, format on save. Yeah, I had just disabled that from another project for some reason. I don't remember exactly. Subscription forms.py is this one. Subscription models.py. There we go. Now it's linting on save. Very good. Keep me from having to do this in the future. I forgot to bring these up with Mary. We'll leave them with a to-do there for now. And subscription template tags. User is subscriber.py. A little bit of lint there. All right. Install Flake 8. So I had Black installed previously, but Flake 8 wasn't running or hadn't been saved as a dev dependency. So now we've got that in there. And I don't know, there's a growing dependency list, but I think we have a Django update perhaps. Wagtail has a significant update. Wagtail, where's that? I want to get those up and running, so we're going to try it. There's Black, I got Black in there. Twice. Black should just be a dev dependency. See if it removes those two files. I need to get a front light here. I realize that it's pretty dark, my camera. And I also have red light mode on. Let's see. Hey, there it goes. A little bit better. Trying to take it easy on my eyes around this time of the day. All right, so did it remove those? I don't know. Yeah, 58 to 51. All right, we're getting commit and push. One moment. Good. Let's see if Pep8 speaks. Will give us a break now. Still a little bit. Okay. This is just a little bit of a disagreement between Black and Pep8, maybe. So subscription models.py. I think I'll just leave this one. It's not that big of a deal. Models.py. 179. Yeah, there we go. Right here. Well, one thing I can do is just. So Black had already shortened this one. And just because there's long help text. All right, so we'll go ahead and let's just run this. In particular, I took those dependencies, a lot of those, what are these red lines telling me? Oh yeah, it's really strict. The linter here only wants 79. I mean, even this Pep8 is like 120, so I think 79 is just too strict. Especially since things are automatically linting now. Authenticate is unused now. Remove the unused dependency. So let me just double check here. This major lint commit, was this the one? Where I removed all these from the orders model. So what I need to do is create an order real quick. I need to scaffold the bookstore because there's no bookstore content right now. We have just been working in the magazine subscription. I just want to check that. I haven't been linting the code, so we're touching areas of the code that have been neglected a little bit. So no problem. Essentially, I just need to log in. My test user. I think is this the right one? Or is it tech? There we go, and then we'll go to the home page. We'll add a child page. This would be the store as the bookstore. And I've got the links hard-coded. That's the feature I'm going to work on. At some point, not today. It's menu management. So you can drag and drop, create arbitrary menu structures. Very cool. They've already got this automatically show in menus feature, but it's not really used to my knowledge. I don't know how that's used. Maybe it is, and I'm just unaware. We basically, oh wait, what am I doing? Bookstore, add child page. Books. Because this is actually a store. I called it bookstore, but products. I don't remember how this was organized. Let's see. So go to the store, I go to books. I can create new books. Listening beyond words. 20 euros. $20. And we'll upload a new file. Or it looks like we have this one. This is fine. And we will publish that. Oops, actually, I want to publish it. All of this workflow is built into Wagtail, comes out of the box. It's a pretty nice feature. We'll go ahead and view live. Looks like I can add it to my cart now. And go to checkout. And I'll just say recipient. Create. Huh. Oh, good grief. Okay. Huh, it's weird. Whoops, that's not what I actually wanted to do. So Pipenv is not. See, there it is. It's loading my environment variable. So that's a case of the IDE recognizing that we had a virtual environment, but not running the correct command, which would source these environment variables. All right. Yeah, we're just gonna do a little bit of cleanup today. Something a little bit. Whoops. Yeah, it cancels. And then I can't go back. Oh, wow, that's a good way to go back. Let's see if this works. That does work here. I'll have to look at that real quick. Check that price is wrong. Bookstore. I must have scrolled the mouse wheel when I entered the price. If you like scroll here by accident, like trying to scroll down the page. Alright, so let's go to the orders. Subscriber 1, inspect, looking good. And we can edit it. Everything seems to be looking good. So let's go with it. No more local changes. I'm gonna merge. Good, we got all those changes in. Deleting the branch. Issues are back. Got fewer issues, that is. Back to current retry payment, those would be good. These are all kind of related. I might work on those in another session pretty soon. We might have it as an enhancement. Basically, people might abandon the card or might have had a payment problem for some reason, need to go back and finish the order. Let's go and just work with these dependencies a little bit. Pippin is supposed to have a little bit of magic for us. Let's see, I'll create a new branch. I'm gonna create update dependencies already exists. Yeah, that's right. Get to that. So let me clean up my local branches. By the way, I installed this live share plugin. I'm excited to try it out on one of these live streams if we get an eager pair programmer on the line. So if I list the, I think I'm going to install a plugin called GetLinx here, which is one of the more advanced Git plugins. It's wildly popular, widely installed. 1 million. Git history, Git blame, Git graph. Yeah, I haven't really branched out too much. No pun intended, I guess, with you. Always accept your puns. Always claim your puns. Haven't branched out much into these Git extensions, or just the VS Code extensions. Merger, automator. Automate your commit messages. How does that even work? This looks kind of nice. I like the idea, at least. It's pretty popular. Yeah, this VS Code community is pretty active, so every couple of weeks you can do a search and find some really good stuff. Let's see if they have just featured plugins. No recommended plugins. All right. So now we've got GetLinx installed down here. I can check on my local branches. There should be a delete branch. Here's this updated dependencies. I'm just going to delete it and run it again. I have to forcibly delete this one because there's changes that have not been merged into master. So today's session seems to be turning into a cleanup session, which is okay. Doing a little bit of housekeeping every here and there. It's part of the game. All right. This GetLinx is pretty nice. You got stashes. Oh, you can manage your remotes here. Very cool. Contributors. Oh, I wonder if I can tag somebody. Co-authors. Oh, very nice. Huh. So I'm hoping I'm not doxing people here. Sorry about that. Okay, close that out. In any case. Oh yeah, these are already public. Excuse me, your email is part of your commit, so. Alrighty then, it looks like we've got GetLinx 10 installed. Boy, I recommend this one. Create our new branch. Which means I also need to delete the branch here. Branches. And these fixtures I'll have to really come back to as it's its own task. Can't tell you when it's open. Alright, so yeah, I do appreciate Dependabot automatically opening these. I think this is now just a service that GitHub offers. It scans your repositories, warns you of security vulnerabilities, and then opens pull requests. Although it might be also something I enabled in this repository. I can't quite remember. In any case, GitHub is automating security scanning for open source projects. Very good. Community service. All right, let's see. So Pippin has a command. I've looked this up before. I've tried this before. I opened an issue about this. This is my issue, in fact. But then I got a response, outdated as dry run mode. So it says I just need a Pippin update. Let's do it. Which is clean. It's a good, simple API. It does what it advertises, hopefully. All right, it says successful. I'm going to go to this normal Git view because I'm just a little bit more accustomed to it. Updated pip file lock. Installing dependencies from pip file lock. All dependencies are now up to date. Wow, okay. Regex. But that's not correct. Maybe it's, yeah, this is weird. What is Pippin update supposed to do? Apparently I'm getting hungry for dessert. Well, let's just try this. Yeah, it's just skipping all of these. This is weird. I don't need to be sound too like, I don't know. They closed it. I'm going to be persistent on this one. Just the regex is getting committed. You know, I mean, that's a good update. Is it a security, one of the security updates? I don't know. Let's go ahead and commit this, but I'm going to, that'll make it clear at least that the rest of it's not working, so. Okay, so now we're gonna go. Wagtail 2.6.1, there's Wagtail 2.7 has been released in Django. I mean, I'm getting notifications on GitHub. There's definitely some updates happening. Django 3 was released even. I'd like to actually see if I can upgrade there. Boy, I'm starting to wonder if I should stick with this Pippin project. It's kind of abandoned, and I know that you have to triage and keep your issues, you know, managed, so there's, you know, like an explosion of issues, but I think this is a bug. Let me just see what it told me. I don't want to be rude, but it's been a while, and this issue is still persists. This is weird. So if the verbose is having different behavior, let's find out if there's any changes here, or if the lock file will be the same. But I can't paste this verbose output into the GitHub issue. Maybe if I do a Pippin remove, now I'm getting sidetracked in the middle of posting this. I mean, honestly, I was hoping that we could just continue the discussion of this old issue. It's just a little bit rude. I don't have that high of expectations for support or anything like that. I mean, I know it's an open source project, but dang it. And I can't find if other people are experiencing this issue. Changes aren't there. So we'll just run it. I'll paste the output. One thing I might do is migrate from Pippin to poetry. This is really big. I don't know if this will paste into GitHub issue, but oh well, let's try it out. There's like environment variables here. Let's see, there's a GitHub teaser. Features that you can, or spoiler, I think this is called spoiler. Some markdown for that. Okay, so that's what they're doing. Interesting. Oh, I see, and then you don't want to put it in code blocks. It's going to treat it as a code block. There we go. Just a lot of text. All right. In the meantime, I don't want to start a new project for this. Frankly, I wish this wasn't so confusing. As the dependency resolver, that's what I'm after. And it's intuitive, I hope. Well, let's see. I'll try it out. So let's see, install globally. There we go. Okay. Oh, dang it. Lock, not freeze. There we go. All right. Well, that's not obvious. Search for a common phrase, click the first link. I think I might have to take out the first line of the that was unfortunate. That one. Let's check it out. What poetry looks like. Poetry Project Tom. Something alphabetized these. That's weird. Hmm. Well, damn. It's like I found the old versions of these packages. And let's take a look. It's like poetry is somehow managing my dependencies, or maybe I'm just confused here. No, not here. So I think I can delete the requirements text. Just double check. So I'm using arrow. Looks like it's already got that. This is nice, it comes with descriptions and everything. 5.7. All right, so how do I get into the poetry virtual environment? So essentially, done what I set out to do, is update these packages. We're there instead of pendulum. Seemed more recently updated. This is nice. So it shows you green or red. Or yellow. That's really actually elegant. So once I've got this project running, set up, install dependencies. How do I get into the poetry virtual environment? Is that what it's for even? I might even be totally misunderstanding the point of this. Okay. All right, so it looks like we're able to actually run these updates by switching away from Pippin. Dang. Not quite how I was expecting it to work out. But it does seem to have worked. Let's see. Yeah. I'll just have to be careful here for regressions. I don't have a clear sense of any top level packages I might have omitted. Let's see if I can look at my pip file. And the pip file just puts everything right there. You know, it's basically like the pip file lock. But I don't know what I've manually installed, whereas PyProject does have my top level dependencies here. A little cleaner. Yeah, I don't know much more about this PyProject Tom. I think this is just a new pep, or relatively new. 5. Well, it's not so new, but anyways, standard way of doing things. So I think poetry is a good step. I'm going to go ahead and delete these pip file. Delete. Now, I don't know if Heroku would automatically notice that I'm using poetry and correctly install the dependencies, or I'm not sure if I'm going to be using Heroku for much longer, but this will be an issue if I go to deploy. Anyway, I believe, export the requirements text. I think there's a flag for that, and then Heroku knows how to handle that, so okay. Not a big deal. And again, I'm probably not going to be using Heroku much longer. I don't like their pricing model. It jumps too high, too fast. All right, so when you need just like a relatively standard amount of resources, like a gig of RAM, you have to start paying like $50 a month. Where I'm kind of spoiled by DigitalOcean, but I just don't want to operate at that level. I'd like a software platform as a service provider for Django. Wagtail. Okay, this is just a little bit after the hour. Let's see what happened here. Why didn't my Git pick up that I deleted those files? Ah, there is a D. So yeah, that was it. One moment, I'll go ahead and push these. So this has been mainly a maintenance session, but every once in a while I just gotta kind of get some of these things out of the way, make sure my code's relatively clean and lint free. I should probably link the whole project, really, but I think my IDE will start picking up on those now that I've got the auto lint on save enabled again. I think that was working correctly. With black was formatting, yeah. Yeah, and then just basic stuff, keeping dependencies up to date. Got to do that. Have a couple of security vulnerability alerts here. Hopefully this will be resolved by this. This new file, what's the 228 or higher, 228 or higher. So yeah, that's gonna be resolved. Let's just really quick double check this. And I was just at an impasse with Pippin. I opened up a bug report because they said if you're opening a support request, either consider opening a bug report or feature request. So I was thinking it was maybe closer to a bug report than a feature. Let's see, this poetry lock, I'm not familiar with this yet. Django. Well, yeah, it's pretty. Package dependencies, and then it should have the lock information here. Yeah, 228. So yeah, there we go. We got these security vulnerabilities, and granted, we're not deployed anywhere, but yeah, you want to just be able to stay on top of these, and if your tooling is getting in the way, instead of doing its job, like helping, like Pippin is supposed to just help, give you a single command and update all your dependencies, which is a really good promise, but it didn't deliver in this case, and I don't know what's the cause, and I didn't really get sort of useful feedback in the Git request. I know that I'm not entitled to get support for these projects, but I don't know how else to proceed. So instead of just kind of bumping up against the same problem, I opened the issue again, raised the issue again because it wasn't resolved and somebody else might have this problem, and just tried to flow around it. And poetry has come up recently. They just have a 1.0 release. It was turning on Hacker News. The project is somewhat new. Like a year or so old, I think. But it's under continual development, active. They're coming up with, here's the 1.0 release 5 days ago. It's got numerous contributors. I think there's one main core maintainer, some other like drive-by, committers. So that's always a danger if there's not multiple core maintainers. Whereas similarly with Pippin, if there was one core maintainer who's kind of maybe dropping off the radar a little bit, I'm not sure what their development process looks like nowadays. They could have other projects that are demanding their attention, or who knows. So I'm not trying to say anything bad about that person, but it does happen that projects do languish. But in any case, there's a recent flurry of activity here. This project is young, so but I mean, it's not just nascent. It's been around and it's garnered a lot of interest. Has a high-level API. Has a really nice looking website. Fairly good documentation, from what I can tell. And it follows conventions. It doesn't necessarily invent its own conventions using the Pi project TOML. It has its own locking mechanism. But it's one thing I like about Pipenv and Poetry is they're sort of aligning with the Python packaging ecosystem and not inventing their own thing like Conda does. And just a little bit further on this tangent, I've stopped using Conda altogether, and I think at work we're not using it. We've been burnt by some just weirdness, and the fact that they forked the Python package ecosystem, I think, was unfortunate. I don't have a clear sense of the benefits of that or anything to have much more like to say about it, to be honest. But just sticking close with Python packaging index and these things is, I don't know, seems to be working overall. So poetry, I'm glad that I was able to get those dependencies update. I do like some nice touches that it has, like, color coding those dependencies that need to be updated and things like that. Where did it go? Well, anyway, yeah, I think we'll be hopefully not having to deal too much more with this. That's all the Pippin stuff with packaging in the near future. Just maintenance now, updating packages as the need arises. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching. If you're checking this out on YouTube, feel free to leave any questions or comments below the video, and I'll try to get back to you promptly. If you're interested in open source or web development, I've been working in those fields for a while, so be glad to have a conversation with you. Again, this has been a CodeBuddies.org live coding session. If Python and Django and Wagtail is not your main passion or pursuit, there's a lot of other good communities and projects going on. You got Ruby on Rails, PHP, Java, JavaScript, all sorts of good stuff going on CodeBuddies.org. Everybody's there as both learners and teachers. We're kind of all collaborating together, and CodeBuddies is also an open source project itself. So if you want to get involved in open source development, stop by and we'll help you get set up with a development environment. All right, well, thanks again for watching and have a great day.